This segment of the news is brought to you by Smitty's Cards and Coins. Would you like to know what your collectibles are worth? Come by 2281 Postal Road, Unit 4, across from the post office.
Today, we honor and remember civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was killed at the age of 39 years old in 1968. The local Martin Luther King All Peoples celebration was held yesterday afternoon at the Pahrump Nugget. The 15th annual Martin Luther King celebration was held at the Pahrump Nugget on Sunday afternoon. This was not the usual breakfast, but a musical celebration. The MLK committee had many performances, including the Sheepshed Singers, Pahrump Valley High School's concert band, One Destination Choir. I Have a Dream was performed by Deacon Leonard Dixon. Also, the MLK choir began and ended the celebration. Martin Luther King All Peoples celebration is also a fundraiser for a scholarship in the Pahrump Valley High School. For more information on how to apply for the scholarship or to donate, you can call Dolores Joyner at 404-432-3709. The Martin Luther King Committee has said that next year they will be going back to the All Peoples Breakfast. For more information on that, contact Dolores Joyner. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Dr. Bard Coates from Healthcare Partners recently gave us an update regarding their new construction of their facility on Highway 160 and Commercial Drive.
And we expect to open the Pahrump Healthcare Partners DaVita Medical Group medical office building in the fall. Don't have a date pinned down exactly yet, but it'll probably be October as best we can tell.
It seems to be coming along. What are we looking forward to seeing there?
Well, it'll be a resource for the community. We have about 20 providers that are physicians, nurse practitioners, and PAs who work in Pahrump in our primary care offices in pediatrics. And so those individuals will be moved from the smaller offices where we have leases in town into this one large building. So we have imaging, we have laboratory testing, we have a pharmacy. We have a great relationship with Humana for our Medicare Advantage patients, and they have a center they call a guidance center that Humana members can come in and talk to the Humana representatives about issues with their coverage or their benefits, and a big meeting room we can use for people, and pods where we'll have 3 or 4 providers serving their patients in a very unique structure. The structure from our sake, we started doing this model just about 2 years ago, where we have these work units or pods where there's 3 or 4 providers and a bank of rooms. Patients come in one side of the room and the physicians come in the other sides. So it's laid out very nicely. Should be very, very effective.
That has been kind of a design technique that has been being used lately, and it seems to be more efficient. I know our VA clinic here as well is using that technique where the patients can come directly and they don't have to wait in the waiting room very long. They can come right into the actual patient room.
Yeah, so it would have been thought of as revolutionary probably 10 years ago. And when I practiced internal medicine, when I was in practice in California for many years ago, the thought of that would have been no way we would do that, putting up a medical building. But this has clearly shown to be more efficient. We have 2 offices in Las Vegas. We did like this, more focused around seniors there in particular, and it's proven to be very effective. In addition to the primary care, we will have an expanded urgent care. We're now open for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week in our current location. And this will be open longer every day and be highly available for anybody and everybody to come in. Obviously the patients we've already been serving, but for anyone else in the community to provide access to them for care after hours.
Will it be 24 hours? Is that something that you might be looking at for that urgent care?
Not to start with. We're going to expand the 12 hours a bit and kind of get ourselves settled into the building and be sure we're capable of expanding it to 24. But we're probably going to go from 8 a.m. to midnight right after we open and get our legs underneath us. The 24-hour thing is not, we've talked about it, but it would be a year or 2 down the road probably.
Valley Communications Association is offering a new way to get television.
once we build out the broadband network and we've got the members connected, we're going to come back, as we've talked about, and put the fiber optic cables in. Once we do that, that's a very big pipe, and it doesn't always have to be just internet. So what we're looking to do is enhance the members' experience and give them more choice. And some of the things we can do over it is provide IPTV, which is basically similar to a cable TV or a satellite video provider, but it runs over the fiber optic cable and uses an IP-based set-top box instead of like a satellite receiver or a cable box. But it allows you to decode the same content and watch television. So we're actually in the regulatory process now to get all the proper authorities in place to do that. So that's something we're looking at hopefully by summer. Will be an add-on, and then as folks get the fiber, they'll be able to select that service as well. The IPTV service is not like your Amazon or Hulu or Netflix. Those all use your internet connection and go across the global internet. So that can slow down and limit the quality of the picture. What we're able to do on the fiber optic line is create little sub-conduits in there. So one of those sub-conduits will be your broadband speed. Video will be on its own pipe, so we'll be able to give you full rate, high definition MPEG-4 video, so to give you best quality that you can get, but without the variation that you might get with a Netflix or Amazon Prime Video.
And that'll be, you'll be getting all major networks and just regular television?
We're working on the contracts now. It's a little premature to say exactly what the channel lineup would be, but the anticipation is yes, the normal broadcast networks that you have out of Las Vegas hopefully will be available. You know, the Learning Channel, A&E, Home and Garden, Food, ESPN, all of those networks, absolutely.
Hopefully KPVM.
Exactly.
What prices are we looking at for that?
That has not been set yet. What folks have to understand about the video business, 90% of the cost of offering that service is the actual wholesale cost of programming. Sports networks are very expensive. The off-air broadcast networks typically are $2 to $3 per month each. So before we set the prices, we have to finish those negotiations. But if you look at the averages in the industry, typically there might be a broadcast tier without a lot of the extra networks is somewhere around a $35 price point. A lot of times expanded basic with your Learning Channel, your ESPNs and all that. Those can tend to be somewhere around that $80 mark. And then enhanced digital with a variety of additional programs sometimes is $90 to $100. So, but we have to settle on what channels we can get, what those costs are. We'll balance that out, and then that'll be the benchmark to set the final pricing.
When we return, we'll have your Business First Brief.